It's always a fun game to see who's going to arrive at the stairs first nowadays. Usually Steve comes out of nowhere. It used to be just Rex, but now it's Steve gets down there first. This cat is more like a dog than a cat. Let's go get him. Let's go get him. I've never had a cat that behaved this way before, where he needs to go out with the dog in the morning. Yeah, this is really fun. And it's really nice weather, too. I get to hook up their leashes. 62 degrees at 7:30. It is brisk, relatively speaking, morning here. Beautiful cold air advection. That is cooler air coming in from Canada on the backside of yesterday's somewhat disappointing cyclogenesis. I say somewhat disappointing because I thought maybe there'd be an eye-like feature forming, but instead the system really didn't get its act together. There are still two low-pressure systems that haven't merged yet. One on the Maine coast, instead of 992, it's 999, so a little weaker. And then there's that other one just north of Mount Washington, where on Mount Washington at 2 o'clock this morning, the wind did go to calm. So not an eye, but sort of the center of the upper level low going right over us last night. Some impressive rainfall totals. I'll lift the numbers from Chris Lambert. Chris worked with me at NECN when he was in school. I think it was high school, wasn't it, Chris? 3.8 Medway, Wellesley, so right along the I-95 belt to 495. Heaviest rain yesterday. I'll go check my rain gauge in a minute. First, though, I want to talk about what you just saw, what was on my computer screen when we were coming down the stairs. Coronal mass ejection. Coronal mass ejection from the sun arrived faster and stronger than expected. Trying to predict storms on the sun and how they're going to impact the earth is also very challenging. You know what a coronal mass ejection is, right? It's basically an eruption on the surface of the sun. It sends magnetic waves throughout the solar system, and it arrived in New England last night. Colton Flint got this image this morning of the Northern Lights, and then I didn't catch your name, but over the Great Lakes last night. Unbelievable. So there is a solar storm happening on Earth right now, and they can get strong enough to disrupt the power grid. So as the weather turns quiet, I'm happy to report on something different than a storm incoming. Well, actually, it is a storm incoming. A solar storm is here, and we may be able to see it tonight in our own backyard. I wanted to show you the sun. Mama said never to stare at the sun, but I can't see it anymore because it's too far south. I'm not going to see it during the sunrise or the sunset again till springtime, although I still think we have a little bit of a sunset. So this 1020 high pressure system coming out of Ontario is going to come in here and stall. And that means after a breezy day from the west and the northwest today with nice dry air, blue sky, sunshine, maybe some instability clouds, it's just looking like a great stretch of weather. 4 sunny days in a row. And the weekend is still really a big question mark. Oh, look at those babies. It's so pretty. Let's go check the rain gauge. So I emptied it out at 0.2 yesterday morning. I've lost track of the rain gauge. I don't know how much was over the weekend. It's at a 0.73. Now Boston came in with about 1.1. And Narragansett, westerly area of Rhode Island, 1.6. Cape Cod, 1.6. Bob in Dennisport, though, says he got 2.4. I said 1.6 because that was at Hyannis. Thank you, Bob. 2.4 in Dennis. We didn't need any more rain. Grass is plenty green. Gonna be mowing through Christmas unless it gets really cold. And of course, Steve has tangled himself up. Why can't you just go out there to your spot? Disruptive. He's so disruptive. Still big questions around what's going to happen this weekend. The Euro has decided to keep us dry on Saturday. GFS is wet. Euro is in the doghouse, but I'm showing it anyway for misleading me last week. That Lee. And it still looks like we're going to have a powerful, juicy wave, if not even a tropical system, coming up from Florida and the Bahamas into southern New England, but decaying as it gets here this weekend, whether it's Saturday or Sunday. Either way, I think it's coming in. And once it gets here, it's going to stall. We're going to have a stalled front for a few days. So The amount of rain we get is questionable, but it does not look like the greatest weekend. You want to hope for the Euro, which gives us still an okay Saturday north of the Connecticut coast. And then it lingers around next week, so we'll have a few days with a wind from the northeast, high pressure to the north, low pressure to the south. Wind is air moving from high to low pressure. T-Rex has managed to tangle himself up too with the only thing left in the yard here. I cleaned out just about everything from the yard. Yeah. I mean, I moved all the furniture for Lee last week, and they still have to get themselves tangled up. Just as a weatherman does all the time. I get myself tangled up in words. So I think we're gonna really enjoy this weather next couple days. There may be a frost advisory or two, let's see, tonight or tomorrow night for northern New England. But very comfortable, no air conditioning necessary, no heating necessary, so give our furnace and our air conditioners a break. The furnace has had a break for a long time, hasn't it? Try to resist, it's not that cold. Sunburn weather, working outdoors, you can still get a sunburn this time of year. All right, so we covered the solar storm, we covered the cyclogenesis, and whether this system gets named this weekend, that's something the National Hurricane Center is keeping an eye on. Oh yeah, and there's another one, another red hash out there in the southern Atlantic. So we'll keep monitoring the hurricanes, but I'm happy to report, not much to report in the weather department other than a geomagnetic storm. The KP index, some of it goes to severe. Yeah, Google KP index. It'll take an hour of your time. And it came out yesterday evening, kind of disappointed that it was not too windy, but it was just enough rain, so the grass is happy for this week, and do some fall landscaping and leave you with some scenery from last evening and even a little bit of mint. Talk to you later. Say goodnight to the folks. This cat has a lot of pent-up energy right now. It's been raining. I haven't wanted to go out. He's wanted to go out. He snuck away this morning. I missed the video with T-Rex and Steve running back and forth, and when that happens, Steve jumps right over T-Rex's head. But you can't get the best video if it takes like all day to make it. You want to go out in the rain? Good. See, I didn't tie him up, so I may never see him again. It's been nice knowing you, Steve. See you later. Had some good gnat sound of a blue jay, but of course a jet is going by now. I want to talk more about the blue jays. You like blue jays or do you not like blue jays? I love blue jays. They're beautiful. I used to find them very annoying, but now I find them informative. Mitt just showed up at the door. He could have gone out, but he chose not to when he saw how hard it was raining. You think you want to go out, Mitt? Did you hear what's going on? Heaviest bands of rains of the day are coming in, but the wind is not appearing. It appears to be staying aloft. 6:12. Just had a good band come through. Steve apparently doesn't care that it's raining. Would you like to go in? I'd like you to come in. We're going in. I'd like it to get a little windy too. Just because I said it would. Up in the sky, way up in the sky, about 10,000 feet. It's from the south at about 50 knots. Still waiting for that surface southeast wind, and some sort of eye-like feature has not developed yet. With weather, it's always play-by-play. Mitt used to be like aloof and standoffish, but he's really softened up in his old age. And smart enough not to go out in the rain. You're very popular on the Unmore, so why don't you just say goodnight to the folks? It's actually good morning to the folks. And thanks for coming, and thanks for watching. If you could just feel what I can feel. We haven't figured out how to do that yet on the internet. But this is one of the softest cats you'll ever find in your life, and he's quite lovey now. He also matches
pillow.